Welcome back, guys. I wasn't going to do another video on the compact until I got to valve springs. However, after trying an ECU in the last video and it not working, I couldn't start it on the other ECU. And not being able to rule it out, it was doing my head in for the last couple of days. So I got a new ECU here to try. I'm going to map this one, remove the EWS, map it, and going to try this one just to see if it cures the issue, just so I can rule it out. The ECU is the only thing I haven't changed on the car. Everything else has been changed. It's highly unlikely that I have valve flow on both engines, and everybody keeps saying that it's not something that they suffer with unless it's over 300 brake horsepower, and at 240 brake horsepower I shouldn't have any valve flow. So I'm not completely ruling it out, but I really need to change this first. So I'm going to map this. If this doesn't work, then I'll get valve springs. But yeah, if this works, it's going to be a lot cheaper and easier than getting valve springs. So I get the car, get my old ECU off, and see if we can map this one. Yeah, so I need to remove this battery. That's the problem of having a battery in the front. Just something extra to remove when you need to access the ECU. And it doesn't look very tidy either, so probably going to relocate this in the future. It'll do where it is for now. So yeah, get this out, take the ECU cover off and get the ECU out. This battery is slightly too big for the battery tray as well. It's not like a 120, is it? Right, so current ECU off. Yeah, so this is the new ECU. Got this off Breakers on eBay. So this is the new one. That's where I got it from. SCB. I'll just double check the numbers on this now just to make sure it's right, but I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, so just looking online, the numbers are showing it's the right ECU for E39 5 Series 184 brake horsepower, so it should be fine. It's not the exact same part number as what's on mine. I'm not sure if that was the issue the other day either, but yeah, same for 184 brake horsepower, so I'll try it, see what it's like. Stick the battery in though. Right, that's the ECU on, power's connected back up. And try to start it and probably just crank over, but just see if I have a fuel pump or anything like that. Yeah, so just cranks, so EWS is still on there. My fuel pump is working, so there's power to the ECU anyway. Or power to that side of things. I get the laptop and see if we can read the ECU and map it. Alright, so I'm going to load up MPPS. Oh, alright. Alright, so I'm going to load up MPPS. That's what I've used to flash this with in the past. So. Alright, so I don't know where I left off on the last clip. If you've seen, I was mapping the new ECU I got off eBay. It didn't work. Same thing happened to this one as the previous one, so I think it's bricked, couldn't connect to it. You just can't do anything with it now, it doesn't connect, nothing. I've been using MPPS to try flash over the file. Now it worked on my standard ECU, so the ECU I use on the car, I was able to use MPPS to transfer over the file that James sent me, so the 245 brake horsepower one with 595 newton meters of torque. So I could map that file onto my standard ECU. I obviously wanted to try another ECU then, just to see if I could rule out the issue I'm having, as I've never changed the ECU on it, so I wanted to map another one and try that one instead. Tried to do exactly the same thing with the other ECU I had, map over the file from James with MPPS, and it basically bricked the ECU, couldn't connect to the ECU, nothing. So I thought I just made a mistake when I was doing it and I pressed the wrong button, because I was videoing it and I was talking to people at the same time, so I just thought I just didn't press a button when I was meant to, so I thought that was the case. So I got another ECU off eBay, plugged that one in then. So obviously in the last part of the video, you would have seen I plugged in the new ECU from eBay. Tried to map that, everything done right, exactly the same way as I done it on my first ECU, and same thing again, just bricked the ECU. So as I said, it worked on my original one, so I spoke to my mate Endo Ward, who mapped the original one for me, done the EWS Delete and stuff like that. And he said it's probably because he's already been inside that one, and it was able to take some of the flash from MPPS. But the other basically standard ECUs I have, he said MPPS doesn't do a full file transfer, so I wasn't able to transfer the full file over, hence why they bricked. But he has told me that I can use MPPS to recover them, so I'm going to have a look at it now, see if I can recover these ECUs. If I can, then I've got a Quickflash. If you watch James Young's video, I'll put his EWS Delete video up here somewhere, and I'll drop it in the description, but he shows you what software you need to be able to sort these out. So yeah, so that's the plan. Plug this ECU in and see if I can recover it with MPPS. If I can, then use Quickflash to try flash on the full file that James sent me, and fingers crossed, maybe that might sort my issue. At least I'll rule out ECU anyway, and then we'll be back to either valve flow or overboost issues. So yeah, let's go with the ECU first and see how that goes. Right, so I've unplugged my standard ECU, so I'm just going to plug one of these ones in now, connect it up to MPPS, and see if we can recover it. Right, so if you listen now when I turn the key on, this ECU is dead. You can hear no fuel pump, nothing. So nothing at all. Before I mapped it, fuel pump worked, so that's how I knew I'd bricked it originally. Right, so, and then this is MPPS, so this is what I'm going to use to see if I can recover it. So this is what we need, slow recovery mode. So we got, right, so now we should be able to read the ECU, I hope, in this mode. Okay, so yeah, look, it's connected. It's picked up what details are on the ECU, and it's starting to read it. Now it wouldn't do this. When I tried to read it after mapping it, it wouldn't do this, so yeah, so obviously I had to be in a different mode, recovery mode, so hopefully this works. And they said as long as I have the original file, I should be able to transfer it back on, and I did save this, so I'll read it first just to make sure it connects properly. It looks like it is. Once it's read, I'll come back and flash the file back onto it and see what happens. Okay, so read that file. I'll just save it as a bricked one. Okay, so now we need to see if we can flash the old file back onto it. What did I save this as? Yeah. M57 spare EWS on. Right. Right, so that's starting to flash on now. So that's the original file. When I read this ECU originally, before I tried to map it, I read the file, saved it. So that's what I'm putting back on now, is the original file. So it isn't mapped, anything like that. It's EWS Delete is on, all of that stuff. So I'm hoping this flashes back on, and then I can use Quickflash then to flash the full file on from James, the Immo off, EWS off. 245 brake and 5 Newton meters of torque, so that's the hope. So that's flashed on there now. Switch off the key, wait 5 seconds. Switch on the key. And yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, but fuel pump is back alive again, so ECU is now getting power, sending signal to the fuel pump relay. So switch off this MPPS, I load up Quickflash, and hopefully it works. So I don't need MPPS anymore. So I'm using this, I don't know if you can see on the screen, but it's called DD4 Quickflash. I'll put a link to the website I got it from. It's called Bimmer Tuning, and you can buy this software on there. So this is the first time I've used it. I haven't tried it yet, so let's have a look. Alright, okay, so this cable is my MPPS one. This doesn't work anymore. Just been trying to use this, I was wondering why it wasn't connecting, so I need to get my IMPA cable. This is the one I need instead. Okay, so I wasn't getting any connection, now showing cable connected. Right, so I'm able to identify the ECU with this DD Quickflash. I've loaded the file, so now it just says to flash it, so I'm going to do a full flash, see what happens. So it's doing something. When you're doing this, make sure you have the car plugged into a battery charger and your laptop is got a good battery fully charged or plugged in, so just make sure it's plugged in. It's probably easier if any of this goes dead while this is happening, it'll kill the ECU. So yeah, it's currently showing connected, saying it's mapping. Yeah, just waiting for that. So it seems to be flashing across at the moment. I got an error last time when it got to like 30 seconds, so it's gone past that. Yeah, see if it works. Right, so it says power off for 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, so pump. Yep. Now, technically, if that worked, it should start. Yes. Nice one. Alright, so that's done. Map now, EWS deleted, so I'll try that ECU, see if I still have the same issues. If I do, at least I can rule out ECU. And as I said, I can go back to looking at valve springs or overboost, so they'll be my only 2 issues left really. Yeah, so let me drop it back down and I'll take it for a quick spin, see if it's cured the issue. Fingers crossed it was just the ECU. I don't think it was, but as I said, I just need to double check just to make sure, so let's have a look. Alright, so still the same, so it's definitely not the ECU. It has 2 ECUs, about 6 different maps, so definitely not the ECU. Still does exactly the same when you rev it up. when it's not under load. I do have a new boost control valve with boost pressure solenoid. I'll try this. I haven't tried a new one of these yet. I have tried a used one off the old engine. That didn't make any difference, so I'll try this one. Somebody on the Facebook page maybe said about the vacuum lines being routed wrong. I've swapped them round and I've still had the same issue, so it's not that either. And I'm pretty sure I marked them when I took them off the old, when I took them off the original engine and everything like that, so I don't think they're mixed up. And even if they were, I've swapped them back and forth and nothing. I've looked online, checked the diagrams, I've checked another car. I'm pretty much like 100% confident they're all sound. As I said, this I haven't tried a new one of these, only a second hand one, so I'll pop this on. It's only two 10mm bolts to hold it on, two pipes then, one to the actuator and one to like the vacuum chamber or whatever it's called. So let me get this off, try this. That's the problem with using the phone to film. The wife just rang me and interrupted the video, so yeah, so that's bolted back on now. Just connect the pipes back up, test it. Fingers crossed it's as simple as that. Doubt it, but let's try. Right, so according to everything I read online and look at, this is the right way. So the front of the vacuum port to this vacuum chamber thing, and then the rear of the port to the actuator on the turbo. So that's the way I've got them. I'll try it like that, see what it's like. Alright, so yeah, that's the vacuum port done. I'll test the car on the way home. I've got another couple of bits I need to sort out. My top boost pipe blows off quite a lot. It's a little bit too short, so when I'm pulling it I can't fully get it on. So I'm going to see if I can get a longer piece of pipe and replace it. I'll show you which one I mean now. Alright, so this one here, going to the EGR, it's not quite a full 90, but I'm stretching it as well, because if I don't cable tie it to the rad, it'll sit in against the pulleys, so I need something that's a bit longer. So I'm not stretching it, and because it's not fully on this pipe, it blows off quite easy. So let me sort that out. Right, so I've got this one, which is off another 330 off my intercooler pipe work on a 330. Just banded on. I cut this band off. I think it'll probably work. It's not full 90 either, but it's a lot longer this side, so it might give me a bit more room. So let me try this one. Right, so it's the same shape as this one. It's just a lot longer. So let me pop my one off and get this one on. Hopefully this takes away some of the stretch and tension I'm putting on the intercooler pipework. Right, so that's in a much better position than where it was. I don't like how soft these pipes are though. Same as the other one. Makes me think, are they squeezing in or anything, collapsing? But no, the other one is just the same. But this is a lot better of a length, so I think what I'll do with this one is get it made in silicone, so it's nice and solid. Yeah, tighten this up. And it's on far enough on this one now, as well as the bottom one here. Before it was only kind of on this one at an angle, and I could only kind of get it so far on before it started hitting the pulley and putting a hole in the pipe. So yeah, it's on a lot better. I'll Jubilee clip this on now, and that should be alright. And then just get the ECU box and all that covered back up. I'll leave this new ECU on it as well and try it out anyway, see what it's like, see if it's any different. It's not, but I'll try it. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there for today. If the new vacuum solenoid, boost pressure solenoid, whatever you want to call it, if that works, I'll put another bit in the video. I'll test it on the way home, see what it drives like. As I said, the ECU hasn't made any difference, so maybe that will. If it doesn't work, if it's still the same on the way home, then the only thing it can be is valve springs, so I'll have to order some valve springs and sort it out. But yeah, I'll test it on the way home. If it works, I'll let you know. If it doesn't, this will be the end of the video. Like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Alright, I did say if I put another bit on the end of this video, it probably meant I fixed the issue, and it looks like I fixed the issue. I've limit bashed it all the way home with the clutch in neutral, just driving normally, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So it looks like it was the boost pressure solenoid or boost vacuum solenoid that was the issue at all times. I did change it. Originally, when I first had this issue, I had another two spare ones there, which I tried, and it didn't stop the issue. I still had exactly the same issue. I also tried the pipes in different orientations, the vacuum lines, didn't make any difference either. So yeah, so it looks like it was the solenoid at all times. Really, I should have just put a new one on in the first place, 25-30 quid. Should have just fitted a new one. If it was a customer's car, I would have made them put a new one on. I wouldn't have been fitting second-hand ones, especially when really all the symptoms pointed towards overboost. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Overboost from that faulty vacuum cylinder, vacuum boost actuator, whatever you want to call it. A new one on, and no issues whatsoever. So happy days. So at least I'm ending this video on a happy one this time. All issues are fixed. The car drove absolutely mint on the way home. Fingers crossed it stays like that. And yeah, happy days. So see you in the next one.